Hey guys, Dennis with Resale Millionaire again, shooting another video from the backyard out of the studio. Sometimes I just like to get outside, shoot a little informal video while I have some thoughts, not one of these post-production from the studio videos. So you guys let me know what you think about these. I enjoy just sort of getting outside, unscripted, kind of talking from the heart like we're sitting around the table in my backyard. Going to follow up today a little bit, talk about pricing, talk a little bit about offers. Now, the previous two videos I talked about cross pens and these golf clubs we bought. And the golf clubs, what happened, I listed the Cleveland driver right away. I listed it for $59.95, got an offer for $45 the very next morning. So you're thinking, what do you do at this point, right? Somebody's giving you an offer for $45. You've already listed the item as low as anybody else on the market. There's a limited supply. Do I accept that offer? Do I counter offer? Do I just reject it outright? What do you do? Now, in our program, we're going to talk a lot more detail about this, but in this particular case, what do you do? So I looked at the buyer. The buyer was very well rated. I looked at the buyer to see, are they a professional buyer and seller? Is this person looking to buy an item for me for $45 and try to resell it for $60 or $70 and make some money? Are they just an individual, probably a golfer looking to pick up a good deal? A lot of factors go into it, and there's a lot of psychological factors. I work for a major retailer, and I can tell you lots of money is spent on pricing, dynamic pricing, pricing structures. How do you end your pricing? What are good price points? And you run some risk. You can accept the offer and thinking the buyer's going to be very happy, but also there's a flip side to that. Their psychology might be, darn it, I should have offered $40. I offered them $45, maybe that was too much. And maybe now you have a buyer that feels uncomfortable with the price they paid. The other risk you have is you can counter with, say, $47, $49 or some other number, and there's some validity to that. If I get an extra $2 or $4 on 1,000 items across the year, well, that's real money that you can use. So what did I do in this case? Might shock you, I did accept the offer. I accepted the offer for $45. The buyer was well rated. They weren't looking to resell the item. They clearly were purchasing this either for a gift or to use for themselves. And it gave me an opportunity. We're sitting here, I'm shooting this video. It's September here in South Carolina. There's a lot of nice golf days left. But you also have to realize, hey, a lot of places it's starting to get cold. We used to live in Chicago. The season's winding to an end. You know, golf clubs just aren't going to sell as well as you get closer to the holidays. Also, I know golfers have huge disposable income as a general rule, not all golfers. It is getting close to the holiday. So I had an opportunity to have a buyer purchase an item from me at a really good price. Remember, I only had $3 into that driver. I bought it the day before. I sold it for $45. Now, hopefully what this buyer's thinking as they come in to the Christmas holiday season, they need to buy things. They had a really good experience from badhatharrys.com. We got them good pricing. Now they'll be thinking, hey, let me go to badhatharrys.com to look for my holiday presents. So I'm using that pricing and accepting that price point as an opportunity to say, hey, that was a fair price. They're going to get a great deal. Let me try to build a relationship with that buyer. So a lot of moving parts. I don't always do that. Most times I will counter slightly above the offer price if it's fair, just so the buyer will feel like, hey, they got the best possible deal and they didn't leave money on the table. But there are times where accepting an offer that's fair, reasonable, you have very little money into the product, you just listed the product, it's better just to go ahead and move that inventory out, take those profits, reinvest it, turn your inventory, and that we'll talk about that in another video. You really want to turn your inventory. The more you can turn your inventory, the more profitable your business can be. And so it's not always about getting the most out of one particular item. Well, what about the other driver, Dennis? You also have the Srixon. You told us about the Srixon driver. Well, that was a totally different situation there. I listed it, I didn't list it for a couple days actually. I listed it on Friday, right before we headed out of town. I was feeling guilty. I didn't get around to listing it. It was sitting in my office. So I listed it Sunday afternoon. We got a full price offer. We got the ka-ching on eBay, which I love to hear, and we had listed that for $59.95. The buyer just thought it was a great deal, purchased it, and we made a lot of money on that. So again, 2 drivers, $6, made over $100 on the 2 literally in just a few days. And I wanted to follow up this video because the $45 offer triggered an opportunity for me to get out with you guys and start talking about things like accepting offers, rejecting offers, and how do you handle those things. We'll talk a lot more about that in future videos, but thanks again for watching. And hey, leave some comments below. Let me know if these videos are okay with you guys, or if you just want to see those production studio videos. Either way, we're happy, but I wanted to get the message out unscripted to you really quick, and good luck. Thank you.